Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, Tuesday night. And the big story is coming from Prime Minister Modi attempting to set the terms of the debate. Coalition of the corrupt is what he calls the opposition versus the BJP. Mission 2024, is that the terms of the debate being attempted by the Prime Minister? We'll try and raise that question tonight. But first, the 9 headlines at 9. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hits back at his critics, slams the Congress as institutions being maligned because corruption being uprooted, accuses the opposition of running a Bhrashtachari Bachao campaign, alleges the Congress plotted to put him in jail. As the disqualification showdown over Rahul Gandhi gets bigger, Congress protests across the national capital, top leaders detained. Congress says Satyagraha has scared the dictators. Tomorrow, the Congress will organize press conferences across the country. Opposition likely to move a no-confidence motion in the against Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla over Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. 50 MPs could move no-trust motion. Savarkar comment divides Congress allies after Shiv Sena. Now Sharad Pawar also warns Rahul against targeting Savarkar. Sources say Rahul Gandhi has promised to stay away from the Savarkar issue for now. Don Atiq Ahmed gets his first conviction in 17 years in 2006 Prayagraj abduction case. The former MP asked to move back to Sabarmati jail. Atiq's brother Ashraf and 7 others are acquitted. Madras High Court settles Jayalalitha legacy war, dismisses O. Paneerselvam plea, state set for EPS to be AIDMK leader. 10 days on, manhunt for Amritpal still on the run. Video from March 21st shows the fugitive Khalistani leader and aide Pappal Preet in East Delhi. CBI's fresh move to bring back fugitive and PNB scam accused Mehul Choksi. Agency says it will use a new charge sheet to convince Interpol that he is a repeat offender. And EPFO raises interest rates to 8.15% from 8.1% earlier on the Employee Provident Fund deposits for 22-23. But the big story that's breaking, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched a massive attack on his political critics. Addressing the BJP workers at the party's headquarters, the Prime Minister equated Congress with dynasty, riots and corruption. Referring to the opposition's united front against him and the alleged misuse of central agencies by his government, the Prime Minister lashed out, calling his critics a Bhrashtachari Bachao Abhiyan. The Prime Minister went on to say that he will not stop his fight against corruption. Mr. Modi also claimed that his rivals had earlier tried to jail him on false charges but failed. Mr. Modi's comments come days after a Surat court sentenced Rahul Gandhi to 2 years in jail in a criminal defamation case. His attack comes even as the Congress has launched their own 1-month-long nationwide campaign against Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. A black day is being observed by the Congress, and tomorrow the Congress is expected to hold press conferences against the country. It appears for now the battle for 24 has begun. Let's listen in to Prime Minister Modi.
देश की जनता देख रही है कि पहले की सरकारों ने किस तरह भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ कार्रवाई के नाम पर केवल खानापुरी की थी, लेकिन पिछले 9 साल में भाजपा सरकार ने भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जो अभियान चलाया, उसने आज भ्रष्टाचार और भ्रष्टाचारियों दोनों की जड़ें हिला दी है। पहले के मुकाबले 2 गुने से ज्यादा केस रिकॉर्ड किए गए हैं और 15 गुना ज्यादा लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया गया है। कांग्रेस शासन के दौरान बैंकों को जमकर के लूटा। बैंकों का करीब 22,000 करोड़ रुपए का नुकसान करके ये लोग विदेश भाग गए। आज भाजपा सरकार ने इन लोगों की करीब करीब 20,000 करोड़ रुपए की संपत्ति जब्त करवा दी है। बड़े बड़े नेता कहते थे जनसंघ को जड़ से उखाड़कर फेंक देंगे। ये उनके बड़े बड़े नेता बोलते थे जी। और आज की कांग्रेस कहती है कि मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी। जनसंघ को मिटाने की, भाजपा को मिटाने की अनेक बार साजिशें हुई। और ये तो वो लोग हैं जिन्होंने मुझे भी जेल में डालने के लिए क्या क्या जाल नहीं बिछाई, लेकिन वो पूरी तरह नाकाम रहे।
The Prime Minister then breathing fire at a time when the political temperature is rising. The big questions as we immediately trigger off our big debate tonight. Has Mr. Modi set the terms for Mission 2024? Is it for him? Corruption going to be a big issue? Will his anti-dynasty call deliver again? Will Parliament ouster get Rahul Gandhi's sympathy? Prime Minister Modi now versus the Congress and the Gandhis. Who holds the aces? That's the question we are going to raise tonight. Joining me now, Supriya Srinath of the Congress and Shehzad Poonawala of the BJP. And I'm joined by Sandeep Shastri, coordinator, Lokniti Network, and someone who knows inside out of the next big state going to the polls, Karnataka. But first, let's come to what the Prime Minister said and get reaction. Supriya Srinath, Prime Minister Modi saying this is a Bhrashtachari Bachao Andolan which has come together. The opposition is targeting him because he is exposing their corruption. How do you respond?
It's the most ridiculous statement that a Prime Minister can make. A Prime Minister who presides over a government that is out to protect a man saddled with charges of corruption, saddled with charges of scam, a man who's in the center of a scam, who the Prime Minister is giving political patronage to, who the Prime Minister has put Indian Parliament at stake for, who the Prime Minister has disqualified the most important voice of the opposition for. It's absolutely ridiculous and actually exposes his hypocrisy. A Prime Minister who goes to Karnataka, the most corrupt government in the world as far as governance is concerned, holds the hand of Mr. Yadurappa, who was removed on corruption charges. 40% commission, pay CM, that is what his government is called. The Prime Minister sounds rattled. He sounds like someone who wants to distract and deflect the narrative. But the reality is that India's Prime Minister and his patronage to Gautam Adani, his conspicuous silence on the entire scam, and the inaction of the agencies actually tell who is perpetrating the most corrupt. And it is India's Prime Minister, Narendra Modi.
So you're saying that the Prime Minister says Bhrashtachari Bachao to the opposition. You're saying that it is about Adani Bachao. Is that what you're saying? That effectively for the Congress, what is your slogan? The Prime Minister has given his slogan saying that I am the one who's taking on dynasty and I'm taking on the corrupt. What is your slogan?
Rahul to nishana hai, Adani ko bachana hai. The fact that mics are switched off, the fact that 18 parts of Rahul Gandhi's speech which exposed the Adani-Modi link, the fact that he was not given a chance to respond in Parliament despite 2 written requests and 1 verbal countenance with the Lok Sabha Speaker, and the fact, the way in which he was disqualified, and I have no desire to mince my words here. I will quote my friend Karti Chidambaram, who says this is reverse engineering. Absolutely it is. They wanted him to disqualify it. They were waiting for the trigger. They found the trigger in an inactive case. The case was dormant till after the Adani speech. The application for stay was withdrawn by the petitioner, and then the disqualification happened. Do you not think that India's Prime Minister and his entire cabinet and his MPs who have decided to turn trolls are actually all out to protect Gautam Adani? That's all that they are doing.
Okay, so
they are putting Indian democracy and Parliament at stake to do that.
Okay, you made your point. Shehzad Poonawala respond. The Congress's slogan now, from what Supriya Srinath is saying, Adani ko bachana hai, Rahul Gandhi bahana hai. So effectively, they are claiming that while the Prime Minister says Bhrashtachari Bachao Andolan is there against him, they say the Prime Minister is trying to save who they call his friend Gautam Adani.
In fact, Rajdeep, if you will indulge me in the same manner as you have indulged Supriya, the slogan for them is this: भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त परिवार, चाहे भ्रष्टाचार का परम सिद्ध अधिकार, कोई पकड़े कोर्ट करे कार्रवाई तो चिल्लाए अत्याचार अत्याचार, सड़कों से लेकर स्टूडियो तक और स्टूडियो से लेकर संसद तक करे दुराचार, और ये बन चुका है इस भ्रष्ट परिवार का शिष्टाचार. दिस इज देयर नारा एंड आई टेल यू व्हाई. आज तो जो परिवार बेल पर बाहर है, and they have been granted bail, but no case has been quashed even when they went up to the Supreme Court and the case was finalized by the trial court against them in 2012. That family forms an alliance of commissioned corruption and obsession against Modi and ambition for position with RJD, who has been convicted 4 times, with TMC against whom there are cases that have been ordered by the by the High Court, and CBI cases have been ordered, with the Aam Aadmi Party, whom till yesterday they were calling corrupt, Satyendra Jain and others, and they come together because the agencies are acting against them and courts are not giving them relief. So are they saying that the courts are against them and their corruption model has now been printed and published in FATF? Forget anybody else's slogan of corruption or who has been charged of corruption. Your first family, how they were pressurizing businessmen to buy paintings for money, has been recorded in FATF, which was until now recording only the acts of terrorism of Pakistan. But this is your status. Now let me come to 2-3 points quickly.
They are saying, Shehzad Punawala, they are saying that the BJP wants to protect
Rajdeep,
its
please
own.
don't interrupt. Let I complete my full statement. Rajdeep, I know you do not need to repeat. Rajdeep, I'll make my opening statement. I will answer all your questions. Please give me the courtesy. I request you. Rajdeep, you were yesterday on the same panel as me and the spokesperson of the Congress, along with senior editor Rahul Kanwal. 2 things were said on that panel, and I want to play that statement made by the very same spokesperson yesterday, and please allow me to do it because I'm putting out facts.
Surely you need to be able to explain where that figure is coming from, ma'am. It's a very legitimate question.
No. Rahul Kanwal, it is not about Adani defense. I am not going to reveal to you something that we are going to come up with tomorrow. I will not do that.
Yesterday, Rahul Kanwal, senior editor of India Today, your colleague, asked Supriya Shinath a specific question. The 20,000 crore figure of infusion of money into shell companies was being bandied about by Rahul Gandhi and company. He asked, where is that source? What is the source? Please put it out. And at the very least, she should have gone and filed a complaint against it. Forget that. Today, she was going to do some big...
Please wear your mic. Your mic has fallen.
Press conference. But not a single word was spoken. Now, 1 second, Rajdeep. Rajdeep, I am placing facts. Please be patient for 5 more seconds. I request you. I request my voice. I am making a fundamental point. I request you for your indulgence.
Please wear your mic. We can't hear you. I'm asking you to wear your mic. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
On point number 1, on Rahul Kanwal's show where you were a witness, this spokesperson said that today she will unveil the 20,000 crore figure. At the very least, this party should have gone and filed a complaint in a court if they have such evidence. At the very least, they should have cancelled projects of Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh if they had so much of proof. But today she did a press conference and tie fish, nothing was disclosed. I want her to use the channel and the platform today to make that disclosure where that 20,000 figure has come from, crore figure has come from. And second point, TMC is on record saying they don't want JPC, but Derek O'Brien, whom you know very well, I'm quoting Derek O'Brien's exact statement. He says that every state government where there is an Adani project should order a probe against it. This is a statement given on 17th March. I do not lie, it's been quoted in the Deccan Herald also. I am asking if these peoples are the bastion of so much of integrity on this Adani issue. Have they ordered a probe on the Adani issue in their own states? Rahul Gandhi comes and says, Adani is BJP. That's what he said. You were there in that press conference. That BJP is protecting Adani because Adani is BJP, BJP is Adani. In that case, why have you allowed the project to continue in your states? In that case, why haven't you ordered a probe against them as demanded by Derek O'Brien? And in that case, why hasn't Supriya Shinath, who did a press conference this morning, opened the...
You made your point. You made your point. I will ask you to adjust your mic even better. You've made your point. Let Supriya Shinath now respond to you. Supriya Shinath, you did say that you will expose this 20,000 crores that you claim has come through shell companies A. Are you going to expose that? You all are having a series of press conferences. You all were supposed to do an expose on Adani linking in a way this shell company money to the BJP. Is that going to happen? Or are you simply throwing mud and hoping some of it will stick?
Don't confuse us for the BJP. We are not people who lie and then run away. We are not people who says na khaunga na khane dunga kyunki sab kuch Adani ko khila dunga. We are not those people. We will not do that. The BJP will neither decide the time nor the date for an expose of our press conference. There are various reasons why we did not do the press conference.
No, 1 minute. So, Shehzad, she must be allowed to speak.
All across the country, and everybody will get to know. And everybody will get to know your truth. Everybody gets to know your true colors. The reality, Rajdeep, is very simple. The reality is that the question that Rahul Gandhi raised on the 7th of February inside Parliament and repeatedly outside, or that any of us are asking, is a question today that this country is asking. Why is it that the Modi government, the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, ministers of this government and MPs are all out there in full force, putting their own credibility at stake to protect Gautam Adani? What is it all about? And may I point you in the direction? You really have to be a dimwit to not know the 20,000 crore figure. And I actually messaged your colleague Rahul. He should sack his research team if they can't find out. $5.7 billion that came in as FDI money. $2.6 billion of that money were from offshore shell companies. Those shell companies belong to Gautam Adani. Is it so difficult for you to put the math together? I would want to ask the BJP.
So you're claiming all the money that has come through these offshore shell companies, all this money that has come through offshore shell companies, you're claiming to me is not Gautam Adani's money, is money that he has held on behalf of the BJP. Is that what you're claiming? Is that what the 20,000 crores is about? And if so, you're going to have to provide evidence that goes beyond just saying that this money has come through FDI. You're referring to a Financial Times report, but it's going to have to be more than just that.
I think absolutely, I'm only raising a question. Ye 20,000 crore kiske hain? Who does 20,000 crore, nearly $3 billion worth of money belong to? This is not Gautam Adani's money. Whose money is it? Why does the government not want to know? Why does the government not have a fair probe? Okay, let's say we are all lying. Let us say the entire opposition is a pack of liars. If they are true and if they are true to the constitution, why are they shying away from a JPC? Set a probe. Get agencies to investigate. Why are you not letting agencies function? Why are you not letting an ED, a CBI, a DRI come and function?
Okay.
That's a simple question.
Okay, you're saying, you made your point. I will allocate time fairly, Mr. Poonawalla. You must be a little patient as well. Mr. Poonawalla, the point which is being made today, the Prime Minister, let's focus. The Prime Minister has said that the opposition is an alliance of the corrupt. The opposition is saying the Prime Minister today is protecting his corrupt friends, i.e. in their, they claim Gautam Adani, and I use Rahul Gandhi's words, is totally corrupt. Therefore, my question to you, Mr. Poonawalla, is the Prime Minister seems unwilling to debate Adani. He is debating everything else but Gautam Adani. According to the Congress, the Prime Minister protects the BJP's corruption in Karnataka but will target opposition-ruled states. Is corruption the central issue according to you, Mr. Poonawalla, in 2024?
May I answer? And I hope I won't be interrupted like Supriya was given a leeway to answer. Thank you. First of all, Rajdeep, it is for your viewers to see how this loud-mouthed spokesperson has run away from something she said 24 hours ago. And this is the constant goalpost changing that the Congress party indulges in. I showed you the statement of Mr. Khadge also. On 2nd February, he said that either Supreme Court probe or JPC. And when one of them has been put in motion, now they have changed the goalpost again. And you can see how this loud-mouthed spokesperson has the gumption to lie. Now forget that. I say let's assume what she's saying is true for a moment. That we are defending Adani, right? That's her charge. Let's then put what Derek O'Brien has said, their ally now, their friend in need. He has said all state governments, including the West Bengal government, on 17th of March, should order a probe against Adani because Adani's money is not Adani's money, it's BJP's money, as per this loud-mouthed spokesperson. Then, what is taking her so much time from 17th of March to 30th of March to not order a probe? अरे कुछ छुपाना नहीं है ना. गहलोत ने कोई भ्रष्टाचार किया है क्या? करो ना ऑर्डर. बाघेल ने कुछ छुपाया है क्या? करो ना ऑर्डर. And nothing precludes this lady and her party to order a state government probe or a probe of any agency while a probe of Supreme Court is or is not going on or a JPC is or is not ordered. That much law, Rajdeep, even though you never practice, you also know. Now thirdly, Rajdeep, who are their allies? Their allies is Lalu Prasad, who's been convicted 4 times. Their ally is who? Mamta Banerjee, whose corruption is called out by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Their ally is who? Satyendra Jain and Kejriwal, whose corruption is called out by Ajay Makhan. Am I the one who's responsible? When they say that action on Satyendra Jain is correct and action on Sonia Gandhi is incorrect, whose double standards are being seen? Agency is good when it pursues corruption of Satyendra Jain, and agency is bad because it pursues corruption of Sonia Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi has come from a different planet, or there is secular corruption and communal corruption. There are 2 kinds of corruption, like good corruption and bad corruption, just like Pakistan had good terror and bad terror. Now I am coming to a final point. Please, Rajdeep, I hope she doesn't get palpitations and starts abusing. Please listen to the last point. Now, Rajdeep,
can I please
the
comment on-
agencies
You will
do whatever
respond,
action
ma'am.
they do,
Please wait.
and they go to a court of law. Sonia, please wait your turn. It's called waiting your turn. And
No,
we are
no, no.
democratic.
Shehzad, let me anchor. I am the anchor for a
Please
while
wait
at
your
least.
turn.
You
heard
focus on your
anthems also.
statement.
Now, yeah. How can I focus if she keeps interjecting? Now let me make my last point. Rajdeep, I just have one question. Let's assume that Modi, BJP, ED, CBI सब vendetta पे काम कर रहे हैं. Court तो निष्पक्ष है ना जी. Till date, no court has said caged parrot like it said for her government and her government's use of CBI. So she should pipe down, either go prove her case in court, or else stop making these accusations against Baba Saheb Ambedkar's constitution and against the agencies that are working independently. They abuse OBC, now they abuse Baba Saheb's constitution, they abuse the courts. Who do they think they are?
Okay.
Some entitled
Okay,
diners?
you made your point. Supriya Shrinate, the charge which is being made is that the Congress party, and from entitlement comes Mr. Modi's second attack today. He says this is a party of dinners. The Congress party is a party which has scant respect for institutions, and Mr. Modi therefore claims that all of this is being done because he is trying to go on a mission to cleanse the system. How do you respond to that charge? Entitled dinners who believe that they are above the law is what the Prime Minister seemed to suggest. Okay, we'll try and get Supriya Shrinate's line because Supriya Shrinate's line has been disconnected for a moment. But therefore, while we do that, Sandeep Shastri, you're listening and you're in Karnataka, which is going to be the battleground state. Are these issues that will play out? The alleged Modi-Adani nexus, Rahul Gandhi's disqualification, dynasty politics, Bhrashtachar, are any of these issues in your view resonating in Karnataka, the next big battleground state?
Rajdeep, all these issues are very critical. And as you said at the start of the discussion, I think what the Prime Minister today has done is the tone, the terms and the trajectory of the debate, not only for Karnataka but right up to the 2024 elections, has been laid. For me, Rajdeep, what has been happening both in the studio here and in the public debate is this perception battle on corruption. Both sides are trying to argue that we are fighting that battle. When today the government makes the stand that we are fighting against the Bhrashtachari Bachao Andolan, the government is trying to claim that we are at the forefront of the fight of corruption, and that's one way of taking attention away from the opposition's charge that nothing is being done by the government on the question of corruption. So on this whole question of corruption, like we have seen in previous elections, when an issue came up from one side, the other side tried to capture that issue from a different perspective, and you are seeing that happen in this election. Yes, corruption is an issue. It will be an issue in Karnataka. It will be an issue next year. And I think both sides are trying to develop a narrative as part of that perception to be able to influence their voters that yes, corruption is the issue, governance is the issue, and our perspective is the one which highlights the reality. So if you look at both sides, the debate is on a similar issue. It's like two sides of the coin.
Right.
The only thing is which side of the coin does the ruling party want to focus on, which side of the coin does the opposition want to focus on is what is becoming increasingly clear. And I think this election in Karnataka and next year's election across the country will be a critical battle of perceptions, as does the voter believe the perception perspective of the ruling party, or does it believe the perception perspective which is being put up by the opposition?
Right.
That I think is going to be the critical fight in Karnataka, in the North Indian states at the end of the year, and in the national politics next year.
I'll come to you as to who is winning this perception battle in a moment. But Supriya Shrinit, before your line broke up, what I was raising, and Shehzad Poonawala tried to make the point, claiming that the Congress party is a party of entitled Dennis, is how the Prime Minister projected the Congress party today, that this is a party which is above the law, and because the Prime Minister claims that his government is acting against corruption, therefore the Congress is raising in a way issues to deflect public attention. How do you respond that the Congress will have to work with the baggage of the past if it is going to make corruption center stage? Every time you will raise Gautam Adani, they will say, well, Mr. Adani has business interests in Congress-ruled states, and they will go back into the past and they will talk about misuse of institutions in the past. Is that a problem for the Congress to be able to win a battle on corruption?
I'm absolutely amused and a little disappointed with India's Prime Minister. You are the chosen democratic Prime Minister of this country. At least have the moral compass to say the right things. You are giving political patronage to a man who's saddled with charges of stock rigging, web of shell companies, Benami money flowing into India. You have ensured he has leading monopolies in ports, airports, renewable energy and the rest by changing rules despite opposition in writing from both the Finance Ministry and Niti Aayog. And you have the gumption to go there on stage and talk about who's shielding the corrupt. That's point number one. Point number two, and a very important point I want to make here. Meghalaya elections, remember what the BJP said? Both Amit Shah, Narendra Modi ji and of course Mr. JP Nadda. They said Meghalaya's government is the most corrupt. They will set up a special task force to probe into corruption charges. The elections are over and they're hand in glove with that government. They're back with their partners. Where is the action against corrupt? I would want to know that. In Karnataka, Santosh Patil, one of their own workers, wrote to the Prime Minister in writing that this is a 40% commission government. They are asking commission from me too. I cannot pay it and so I'm committing suicide. One of your own. The Contractors Association has written multiple letters to the Prime Minister highlighting the 40% commission issue. The Prime Minister doesn't speak a word. You run the most corrupt government anywhere in the world and you have the gumption to go on stage and talk against action on corruption. And I also want to make one very brief point
The
here.
dynasty question, the dynasty, the sense of entitlement.
But here is a spokesperson. 1 second, Rajdeep. Rajdeep, 1 second. I will answer that question and I will answer that question. As far as the entitled is concerned, there are people in your government, if given a chance, the CBI, the ED and the DRAI should be arresting these people. Why do you shield them? Why do you not have cases anymore against a Hemanto Biswa Sarma or a Suvendu Adhikari or a Narayan Rane or a Yadurappa or a Reddy brothers? Why is there no case against Smriti Irani and for all the allegations that came to fore about what was happening with business interests that she has? What about Piyush Goyal and the cases against him? These are very important questions that will be raised. Entitlement comes at the cost of protecting Gautam Adani. It's as simple as that. I want to say something in the next 10 seconds and it needs to be said. I think I never get into semantics of one spokesperson or the other because they all come from the, they all cut from the same cloth. They are supposed to come here and lie through their teeth. But the more you lie and the more disrespectful you are and the more you call Mrs. Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and Ashok Gehlot and Bhupesh Baghel, the better it is for us. Go on. Disrespect the Gandhis, disrespect elected leaders, disrespect chief ministers. The world should know that you are willing to leave no stone unturned to protect Gautam Adani, because the world knows that this whole image that was built of the Prime Minister is coming crumbling down. The world is today asking questions.
Gautam Adani. Before I go to Shehzad, and trust me, I will give equal time. Before I go to Shehzad, I will ask you one more time. Ma'am, if Gautam Adani is so... No, 1 minute, ma'am. If Gautam Adani is so corrupt as your leader claimed, why is your government in Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan wooing him? These are Congress governments. My point is, if you all have decided that Adani equals corruption, then how do your state governments deal with the same individual?
Very valid question, and I'm glad you asked me that question. So all action against a certain individual will be taken by the two state governments that we have. All action in the Supreme Court, which is not looking into the Adani scam, but actually looking at the review of regulatory framework. Details should be furnished by us. The elected government of the day, with governments in 16 states now, is just going to sit there pretty and keep being a cheerleader of Prime Minister Modi as he keeps protecting Adani. Is that what you're essentially saying here? Because the businesses that Adani has, whether in Chhattisgarh or Rajasthan, were won by tendering process. He was the L1 bidder. There was a transparent process. Nobody was barred from entering. We did not send ED to houses of people or put them in the NCLT and then coerce them into selling their businesses to Adani.
Okay,
that's the reality and that's the difference. Rajdeep
Shehzad Poonawala.
Mr. Modi is actually putting his personal credibility at stake to protect Gautam Adani.
Okay, you made your point, ma'am. Ma'am, now you made your point. I've given you enough time. I'm giving both equal time. Shehzad Poonawala, you're going, this is all against the backdrop of an election in Karnataka. The fact is, your government there has been called by even neutral observers as a government that has much to answer for on the issue of corruption. The so-called 40% commission government. Contractors have written accusing your government. Can the BJP really take a moral high ground at a moment like this? Really, do you really believe that the BJP can take a moral, just a minute ma'am, moral high ground on the issue of corruption at a moment like this when Karnataka is coming to the polls?
Okay. Rajdeep, I hope you will be indulgent and protect me when I make my statement, and I'll start with your question first. You said that if there is an allegation of 40% corruption in Karnataka, with what moral stand-I can you make accusations at others? I respect your question, Rajdeep. But then tell me, those who are out on bail and get no relief from court and whose corruption has been published in FATF report, they will lecture us about corruption. RJD, who has been convicted multiple times and an ongoing probe in a matter started by JDU is taking place, they will lecture us about corruption. And we should listen. On an allegation, we have no moral standing, and they on conviction have all the moral standing. ये उनका चमत्कार और हमारा गुनहगार. Rajdeep, ऐसे नहीं चलता. दूसरी बात, Madam spokesperson said she's very disappointed with Prime Minister. Look, when Rahul Gandhi is your leader, your default setting is disappointment, madam. I don't need your happiness or your any kind of satisfaction from Prime Minister. The people of India, including the people of Northeast, whose gamusa I'm wearing, have endorsed the Prime Minister. Your disappointment should be with the leader who can't win your puny election anywhere in this country. So please focus on the disappointment you have in the name of and the form of Rahul Gandhi. Now, thirdly, she's speaking about Meghalaya. I asked Madam Spokesperson, forget about our stand on Meghalaya or not about Meghalaya. I'll tell you the stand right away. But you first tell me, ये नया भ्रष्टाचार का भाईचारा बना है, तब से सत्येंद्र जैन करप्ट लग रहा है या नहीं लग रहा है? मनीष सिसोदिया करप्ट लग रहा है नहीं लग रहा है? या यहाँ पर भी अब यू टर्न कर दिया आपने? बताइए जरा, अजय माकन को कूड़े के डिब्बे में डाला है या सुप्रिया श्रीनेत कह रही है सत्येंद्र जैन करप्ट है, कह रही है मनीष सिसोदिया करप्ट है? चलिए आप इसको प्रोसेस कीजिए, उसी तरीके से प्रोसेस कीजिए जो राजदीप ने सवाल पूछा. द क्वेश्चन राजदीप आस्क्ड यू दैट भाई साहब आप करें करे तो चमत्कार और कोई और करे तो गुनेगार. If Adani is ipso facto corrupt, his money is BJP money, his entire holdings are are stock manipulations and are shell company holdings, then why aren't you, forget cancelling, ordering a probe against the Adani projects in your states as demanded not by Shehzad but by your newfound friend Mr. Derek O'Brien on 17th March? बताइए ये hypocrisy नहीं है तो क्या है? And finally, let me come to the fact. They said misuse of agency. She's going on and on about. By the way, Mulayam Singh Yadav ji, the DA case against him started during the UPA. Samajwadi Party is on record to say that it was misused by Congress Party, and the closure report happened in 2019. If we were misusing the CBI or the ED to fix people, why would we ever allow the closure report? So your own people who are standing with you for one day have acknowledged that who misused the agencies and who have not misused the agencies. The court also endorses that. And Rajdeep, finally, I have just one question to ask her. Let's forget everything else. Everything else is out of syllabus, very difficult for her. Supriya ji, agar aap mein naitikta aur integrity hai, is Lalu Prasad Yadav who's convicted of corruption corrupt? Yes or no? Why are you in government with him in Bihar?
Okay, you made, you've used Lalu
stand
Prasad Yadav's name 4 times. I will give Supriya Shrinate, before I go to Sandeep Shastri, a chance to answer. Supriya Shrinate, corruption is an issue which actually brought down, many believe, your government in 2014. There were a series of alleged scams that tainted your government. Do you believe that's the issue on which you can actually target Mr. Modi today by using, in a way, Mr. Gautam Adani? Or do you believe, because Mr. Gautam Adani has friends in all parties. Let's be very clear, including some who were sitting at the dinner yesterday with Mr. Kharge. Is that the issue? Or are you going to go back to what you all said were the earlier real issues, unemployment, rising prices? Is in a way what's happening actually distracting the opposition from what was going to be their original narrative?
Okay, so here's my answer, and I think I'm giving a very candid answer here. Mr. Adani is the reason why India is battling high prices, why India is battling unemployment, why India is battling gross levels of income inequality. Because the government is so focused on protecting him now, and of course pushing him to the number 2 position earlier, that rules were bent, policies were made for him, level playing fields were distorted one after the other. I have given you instances. On airport, the finance ministry objected, Niti Aayog objected. On ports, there was a written objection, and still rules of SEZ were changed for him. So here is a man who's a complete creation, whose monopoly is created by policy formulation done by one government. How can we not question that? How can we not question the fact that
but
this
they will also have the right to question that they will also have the right to question that if there are people within your alliance who have been jailed for corruption and have not got relief from courts, how can you take the moral high ground?
I will tell you why I will take the moral high ground. Because if the BJP is all clean and if the BJP wants to cleanse the system, start from within. Put Hemanta Biswa Sarma behind bars, put Suvendu Adhikari behind bars, put Narayan Rane behind bars, put Yadurappa behind bars. They are not even being called for questioning. इन्होंने तो वो washing machine खरीदी है जिसमें गंगा जल और सर्फ डाल के ये सारे दाग धब्बे धो देते हैं. This cannot happen. That ED cases against opposition account for 95% of all cases. ED cases go up 4-fold since 2014. What are we talking about? Is there a level playing field that they are referring to? And one simple submission that I had made, I got no answers to. Where is the special task force to probe the corruption allegations in Meghalaya? I didn't raise them. Amit Shah, Narendra Modi and JP
So you're saying,
where is the probe against the Karnataka government, the 40% PCM government that you preside over? Where are all those probes? Where is that investigation?
So you're claiming the BJP is a washing machine. I will give one more chance to Shehzad and then a final word to Sandeep Shastri. Shehzad Poonawalla, let's be clear. Has the Prime Minister set the terms of the debate on corruption?
But why should you not give me one more chance?
Okay, we'll wait to hear. We'll wait to hear what Shehzad has to say. Shehzad, washing machine. This is going to be, if you keep claiming that this is a coalition, Bhrashtachari Bachao Andolan, they will say, Aapka washing machine Andolan. Aap BJP join karo and you become and it's the washing machine. Quick response.
राजदीप, दिस इज अ ब्रोकन रिकॉर्डिंग मशीन. ये इनका यही टेप बज रहा है. येदियुरप्पा को डालो, हेमंता को डालो. अबे प्रूफ है आपके पास तो सिंघवी को भेजो, चिदम्बरम को भेजो और क्रिमिनल कंप्लेंट के माध्यम से करवाओ कार्रवाई. सोनिया गांधी के विषय में कार्रवाई क्रिमिनल कंप्लेंट से हुई. कोई आपकी एजेंसी ने शुरुआत नहीं की थी उसकी कार्रवाई. आपके पास सारे तथ्य तो है, ये सारे भ्रष्ट है. मेघालय सरकार भी भ्रष्ट, सभी है ना आपके पास. तो जाओ ना एक दिन कोर्ट में. इतने विद्वान वकील है. अभी तक तो उन्होंने राहुल गांधी की अपील डाली नहीं है, पर खाली बैठे हैं. इंटरव्यू भी राजदीप को कल देते हैं, तो उनको जाकर बोलिए ना, एक तो क्रिमिनल कंप्लेंट डाल दो. सारे भ्रष्टाचारियों को जेल में क्यों नहीं डालते? केवल राजदीप के शो पर आकर एक ब्रोकन रिकॉर्डिंग मशीन की तरह आउटरीच करने से कोई फायदा नहीं है. अन्यथा यह मान लीजिए सुप्रिया शिनेट दैट यू हैव नो फैक्ट्स अबाउट इट. दिस इज जस्ट अ व्हाट आई से भ्रष्टाचार का भाईचारा. आज अरविंद और लालू लगे प्यारा. इनको केवल टीवी पर देना है नारा और कुछ नहीं इनके पास गवारा. इसीलिए आते हैं और चिल्लाते हैं और चिल्ला पुकार. ये सारा का सारा चिल्ला पुकार है. इनके पास अगर तथ्य होता तो हम सबको जेल भेज दिए होते ना. कोर्ट में जाकर विश्वास नहीं कोर्ट में.
Okay, go ahead, Supriya Shinet. You have a rhyme with what Shehzad Poonawala said. What's your rhyme of the day?
No,
she
I don't
started,
think
by
that-
the way.
1 minute,
but she
ma'am. 1 minute, Shehzad.
यही
People
इनकी
like
मानसिकता
wasted
है.
time.
I am entitled.
only
I am
asking a
entitled.
question.
I am entitled.
I am only asking a simple question. You have now
You started the debate. You should end
you
the
have
debate.
now
ये
been in
गजब का
power for 9
entitlement है.
years. Prove a
What
case.
is this entitlement?
You have
Why
now
will she
been
have
in
the last
power
word?
for 9
I
years.
will have the last word.
Don't hide
I
behind
will have the
allegations.
last word.
Try and
I
prove
will
a
have
case.
the last word.
You
Why will
can't
she have
prove
the last word?
anything. That's your problem. Get personal
Okay,
with me,
we've-
attack me. It doesn't bother me.
Okay, we've
You
heard
don't
both
realize
sides. I'm
people
going
like
to
you
dip
don't
the
bother
volume a
me.
bit
Because
because I
people
want to
like
know from you, Sandeep Shastri, as you listen patiently, is there sympathy for Rahul Gandhi because he's disqualified? Do you believe, therefore, that the elections in Karnataka will be fought on local issues, or will this national battle resonate, Modi versus Rahul? Very quickly.
Rajdeep, amidst this flowing poetry and rousing rhetoric, you have raised a very relevant question. The Karnataka battle is really a battle of perceptions. The Congress is using local issues. Rahul Gandhi and his issues are nowhere part of the campaign. The BJP is focusing on its central leadership, central government. You rarely have talk of the Karnataka government. It is a double engine government, but there seems to be one engine leading and the other only following. So Karnataka will see a battle between a central leadership driven campaign and a local leadership driven campaign. And the other question you raised, Rajdeep, about perception battles earlier, if the corruption issue is coming up in a big way, both sides are trying to make sure the corruption battle is perceived from their perspective. But then when you have a neatly divided canvas of political polarization, where people tend to listen to that voice which they believe is the right voice, there is a very small group of undivided voters who finally make the choice as to whose perception would they prefer to believe in.
Okay.
I think survey after survey has found that this polarization seems to be very visibly there, and that
So
voter
either
who
you're-
is
either you're
undecided
pro-Modi-
is the one.
Either you're pro-Modi or anti-Modi, pro-Congress or anti-Congress, the polarization is setting in, you believe, in politics in Karnataka and beyond. You know, we've gone through 40 minutes almost of a debate without Shehzad Poonawala and Supriya Shinet screeching at each other, and that's a good sign, because I think the audience then gets to hear both sides. You can smile a bit, Supriya, you don't have to always be angry. And Shehzad Poonawala, I'm glad that for once you've also tried to hold your peace, and that's the way it should be. Let's avoid the name calling. Thank you both very much for joining us. We'll see how this plays out, the narratives and the battle of narratives and perceptions. Let's take a break. When we return, I'm going to turn to Rajasthan, to my Get Real India story, because there's much more in this country beyond Modi and Rahul, and our Good News Today story. You're watching the News Today. News without the noise.
सिक्योरिटी के बगैर गए। उन्होंने खुद कहा है कि देखिए मैंने लाल चौक में झंडा फहरा दिया। उनको ये मालूम नहीं है आपके समय में नहीं फहरा सकते थे, आज फहरा सकते हो। ये मोदी जी के कारण हुआ है।
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
मेरे मोटिवेशन थी कि मैं इस देश के लिए वर्ल्ड कप जीतना चाहता था।
Cricket heals India.
सबने यही कहा, just go out there and lift this cup.
Yeah, stars had aligned.
I really do feel this is like yesterday.
We have this confidence, that we can lift the cup. We always had that belief.
This was the moment when it came together.
They were the children of destiny, the men of destiny.
Nothing could pin them down.
Welcome back. Let's turn to tonight's Get Real India story, where a health emergency of sorts has now gripped Rajasthan after over 20,000 private doctors staged massive street protests against the Gehlot government. The government there has passed the Right to Health Bill, which effectively allows people to get free treatment even in private hospitals. The fact is, as this stalemate between the government and doctors continues, innocent patients are bearing the brunt. It's our Get Real India story from Rajasthan.
There is a health emergency in Rajasthan. Over 20,000 doctors, mostly from the private sector, are on the road against the Right to Health Bill passed by the Assembly recently. With private hospitals on strike demanding a rollback, the load on government health facilities has increased exponentially. Hundreds of patients are coming to the emergency and outpatient departments at the state's biggest government hospital, the Savai Mansingh in Jaipur. For nearly a week, patients have been bearing the brunt.
जोधपुर में सर डॉक्टर्स देख रहे थे, पर मैं यहाँ आया तभी यहाँ पे हड़ताल चालू हो गई सर। और सर 3-4 दिन से सर रूम में मेरे होटल के अंदर रूम में इलाज कर रहे थे। अभी यहाँ आए तो सर पेशेंट वार्ड में लिया। सर सभी दादागिरी करते हैं सर इधर, चाहे वो कोई भी हो।
कौन बीमार है पहले आप ये बताइए।
पिताजी मेरे।
उनको अटैक आया?
हाँ।
आसपास कोई
भी प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल नहीं लिया।
सब बनते प्राइवेट?
सब 3 दिन से ट्राई कर रहे हैं सर।
According to the data received from various districts, about 300 surgeries are being postponed daily.
जो रूटीन ऑपरेशन है, जैसा कि जो पहले हमारे पास औसत जो होते थे 500-700, अब वो 200-225 के बीच में हो रहे हैं पर डे के हिसाब से। आम जो बीमारी के पेशेंट थोड़े कम हुए हैं, लेकिन जो गंभीर बीमारी के मरीज हैं वो कहाँ जाएंगे, तो वो उन्होंने रुख किया है SMS की तरफ।
According to the law, every citizen will have the right to emergency treatment and care in any public health institution without any prepayment. If the patient is unable to bear the cost of the treatment, it will be borne by the state government. For that, a dedicated corpus will be created by the government. The law also provides for free healthcare services at government institutions. It also imposes fines ranging from 10,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees for violations. Doctors argue that this will increase corruption in clearance of bills. They also want emergency situations to be spelt out clearly. The doctors have accused the Ashok Gehlot government of making no efforts to resolve the situation.
जब पूरे राज्य के मुखिया हैं, हम गवर्नर साहब के पास 3 बार अर्जी लगाए। उनका भी कहना ये है कि भाई माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी जो इसमें करेंगे वो करेंगे। रास्ते हमारे लिए वार्ता के लिए खोले, वो व्यक्ति खोले जिनके हाथ में ये क्षमता हो या जिनके पास ये प्रशासनिक संवैधानिक जिम्मेदारी हो कि वो बिल को वापस ले सके। वहाँ हम वार्ता के लिए जाने के लिए तैयार हैं।
बात अच्छी हो रही थी, इनकी कुछ मांगे थी, सरकार ने इनकी सब मांगों को स्वीकार कर लिया। उसके बाद में अचानक ही क्या हुआ कि ये तमाम लोग वापस सड़कों पे आ गए, वो नहीं आना चाहिए था।
The Gehlot government considers the Right to Health Bill a major achievement ahead of the assembly elections this year. But the strike by private hospitals threatens to hit the CM's poll plans. With Jai Kishan Sharma and Devankur Vadhavan in Jaipur, Bureau Report, India Today.
That's a story we'll keep tracking. Let's turn and end our show tonight with a good news today story. The story of Sucheta Dev Burman from Bangalore, who swam across both sides of the POC Strait, battling powerful waves. The swim to Sri Lanka and back took her 19 hours. She now aims to swim across other waterways in the country. We wish her well. It's our good news today story. You stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubh Ratri, Namaskar.
A swim from Dhanushkodi to Talai Mannar, a daunting journey of 63 kilometers. Sucheta Dev Burman from Bangalore has achieved this milestone.
Incredible experience. It was a lot of excitement. It was a lot of enthusiasm, fear, anxiety, stress. But yeah, it's overcoming all that and finishing what I set out to do is one of the most important things. We started off, it was calm, beautiful water. Spectacular. I mean, it was unbelievable how lovely it is. You can actually see the bottom of the floor. And then at about 8:39, things changed. The weather changed. The winds were completely against. It was cloudy. The waves were going really high. There were swirls, literally swirls.
Sucheta recounts how the fear of unknown haunted her in the sea.
I was scared for my life, and I had only one small dinghy with me, with the boatman and his son as my crew.
What next for this daredevil? Sucheta is planning to explore other waterways in the country like the Sundarbans, Lakshadweep and the Andamans.
We really have such beautiful seas in our world, in our country. We have the Andamans, we have Lakshadweep, we have, the Sundarbans. Little dangerous, but yes, we have some really beautiful waterways. So why not explore that? So maybe to Andamans. How's that?
Bureau Report, India Today.